glasses.
Oh, I got mine.
But yeah, you look very, very.
I like them.
You
They're all
know,
right.
snippy now.
You know when you go get a
Very
new
nice.
new frame, it looks so good when you pick it out, and then you go get your
You might
lens in
need to.
there.
See now, mine is a little bit too heavy. I think I must have got a little bit too thick. Not saying that I'm,
Yeah, you got some bifocals
not saying I got medicine in them,
going.
like the frames though, but like, so like I put my old ones on because they're like more streamlined.
You got a lot of medicine. You look like
Yeah, right.
bifocals.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
You gotta get that new
So how you doing
technology.
tonight? You okay?
I'm a little tired, but I'm gonna make
You
it
know, time
do.
we gonna make it through.
I gotta watch
Come on now.
Empire tonight.
Let's get at the meat of things now because we don't have too much time. Remember how we talked about we have less time, so we can do that at
We
the
could
end.
do our intro. We just can't go back to last week's topic. Smart Alec. Oh boy. Okay. Well, welcome to this edition of TByrd Live. Tonight on Facebook Live. And for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, please share on your timeline. You can also give us a call if you have a question about anything we're talking about. Matter of fact, I love going with this, being able to
Yeah, you see, you learn how
highlight
to
it.
use that desktop a little bit.
Huh?
So you learn a little bit more how to use that desktop. But as you're getting it
It's not the
together,
desktop. It's all
but
these
they can see what you're
coordinate.
doing now.
Yeah, all these coordinating things, and it's
Yeah,
live.
you
So
keep it at that. But as usual, we have like a healthy discussion of like our topics every time. But we want the I guess the viewers to just drop us a line or their input. So
we
don't
love that
hesitate to do so.
interaction. Yeah, we
You
love to
know,
hear from you. Give us a call because our phone lines are up. In Jersey, you can reach us at 609-484-9356, or the DMV 301-868-6075, or anywhere else in the country. So tonight's topic is a part of our 2019 plan series. Last week we talked about the personal plan, and this week we're going to focus in on the professional plan.
professional plan.
And I just reviewed with Rick, how the series is working, so he's right on board with it. Next week we're going to talk about the business plan, and then we're going to bring it all together under the final week of how to do it, which is the week right before Christmas, and we'll be closing out for the year, and then come back at you
It's something
the
new.
second week of January 2019, expecting you to have implemented all this great information. Uh, Next, I want to talk about what we offer during the show. If you go to your email and register at tbirdliveshow@gmail.com during the show, you'll receive the free professional plan ebook. And we did have a really good response last week. A lot of folks received our personal plan ebook, and it's full
That's
of
right.
templates.
Personal.
It's inclusive of some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight in this presentation. And what we do is we send you out all the actual templates that you can use to create the plan. Because right about now is the best time to start planning for the new year. Some people are already thinking about their new year resolutions, and that's just a traditional thing that everybody does. But what the TByrd team wants you to think about is taking it a couple of steps further, because that plan for your New Year's resolution is more on a personal level. We're going to take it to the professional level, and then even the business, even if you're not in business, but have you start thinking about the business you would like to open in 2019, and then bring it all together and get some stuff accomplished in 2019, because none of us are getting any younger, and it's just hard to believe that 2020 is right around the corner. I
Mm.
remember thinking about 2000 when we were going from 1999 to 2000, and thinking, oh my God, this is going to be really uh, interesting. And here we are 20 years later. And guess what? It's still interesting.
That's right.
So let's get started.
Before I go, can I give like a shout out to the people logging in? Anthony, Anthony logged in. Thank you. Daryl, thank you, Daryl. Um, Carmen, Sandra, and Ben. so far. Thank you very much for dialing in. Go ahead, Joe.
Keep it going, Rick.
No?
No, interrupt me so that we can acknowledge people. I think it's important that people
Yes, I think so
get
too.
acknowledged when you.
Debbie just now logged in.
And if you got a question, give us a call. We'll take you live over there. One of the things we really want to do too is promote other businesses.
Okay.
And so if you're doing any kind of business, again, it doesn't have to be relative to technology or it could be any type of business. We want to give a shout out for your company because we have been there. We are still there. We know how hard it is to get things off the ground and get them rolling. And people tend to think that once you get your building, when you get your business up and running, that it's just an easy, smooth road thereafter.
But
Hardly there.
let me tell you,
Hardly.
that's just the beginning.
It's the beginning.
It's total beginning. Well, go ahead. I didn't mean to.
Oh, that's all right. You definitely want to bring those shout outs. I'm glad you brought that up. Because we failed to do it last week. And people, they don't say anything, but you know, I
No, we
like,
want to
when I
give
tune
them.
in live, I like to hear someone
Listen,
say my name.
if you spend your time with us, we want to
Acknowledge you. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this professional plan. Now, the professional plan is really geared to someone who is working. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's your career plan because it could just be your plan for the job that you're at. You may be looking at a promotion at that job. I tend to encourage people to, back in the day when we graduated from college and got a job, the ultimate goal was to get that job, keep it for 20, 30 years, retire. Today's workforce is stay on the job long enough to learn as much as you can and move on to the next objective of your career or next plan of action. And so this is geared towards a little bit about putting together your professional plan, not necessarily for that career or job that you're in, just where you want to go right now in that job and where you want to go once you leave that job, and then even maybe further along to the next job as you build your career, because a career has to be built. It just can't be, okay, I got that job at the electric company and I remember Rick went for the test to be a lineman. When we first got married, I think our son was about 3 or 4 years old, and the opportunity knocked. And he was so excited about getting that job and thinking about retirement. And he didn't get it. And we were upset. We were very upset about him not getting that job.
I'll tell you what, I was like devastated.
And you passed the test and all that. And we won't go into the logistics of why he didn't get it. But it was a blessing from God because he did bigger and better things.
Right. It wasn't in the plans.
It wasn't in the plan. So a great career doesn't always mean that it's in one location with one employer. Doesn't mean that you're going to jump around every 6 months either. But like anything else that you want to achieve in life, you have to create a plan. You got to put the time and the effort, and most importantly, you got to plan it. And I always tell people I'm a planner. And it kind of annoys Rick sometimes because, and my son,
man,
if we're about to go anywhere, I'm not one of those crazy people with planning, but I like to know, okay, where we're going, what time we got to get there, and why we're going. So that if it's something that I need to bring along with me, I'm a planner. And I'm always thinking about business. And so if we're going into DC or we're going to Delaware or wherever, I'm looking for some type of influence to grow my company. And so do I need to bring my laptop or should I bring my iPad? Or I've got 2 iPads. Don't tell anybody. Actually, I got 3. Which one do I need to bring? So, because I have the small, medium, and large, and the larger one is for my presentations. The medium size is for like driving, and the small one I just drop in my purse if I gotta do something real quick. So there we have that. But anyway, what I want to do is show you how you should, from my perspective and Rick's perspective, of how to outline your interests, your values, and skills, and help you think about, where you are now, where you want to be. Because whatever you like doing now or dislike doing may not be how you feel 4 years from now, or maybe even next month or next year. So we want you to use your professional plan to not only outline your career, but the things that you're passionate about, your strengths, the skills that you've acquired, your experience that you've acquired, and really how your personality can fit into the career path or the professional plan that you plan to choose, so that you can not only choose the right next job, but you can also plan for your future in terms of business development, your own business. And that should be everyone's ultimate goal, to have their own business. Because even if you have to work and you have to have that 401k, you have to have those insurance benefits and all those things that come with a job, including that daily consistent paycheck, you also need to be able to plan for your next professional move that should be towards your own business, whether it's just a small service that you offer to maybe two or three companies or individuals, but you definitely need to make that short-term and long-term goal include business development, as well as any skills or qualifications and experience that you may need to get in order to reach those goals. And putting together your professional plan is actually outlining where you want to go and how you're going to get there. And guess what? Is there going to be something in it for me when I get there? There's a lot of folks who have been to college, put together their professional plan, put in every piece of the puzzle. And when they got to the finish line, there was no job. There was no career.
Mm. That's
There was no business to do.
that's just like somebody starting off a career in like the service. Like say like say for instance if they do that and they pick a MSO or a forte that they like, since for instance gunners mate. Like a gunner mate, what they do is they shoot what? They shoot big guns off the ship. Okay, and that's fine. Now, 4 years from now, after you get out, where are you going to get a job shooting a big gun off the ship? Now, that might be a good career path for some, might be not so good for others, but you got to think long term. And this is what this is all about. Like your attitude, your mindset, and like thinking long term on your professional plan.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is the key to putting together that plan, knowing all the components that you need. And this is really a cool little presentation here of how you can design it. It's more like a flow chart, and I don't want to necessarily call it a career. I want to call it a professional plan, because a career usually means you're in one segment of an industry. Your professional plan should include several branches, sort of like a spider. A spider's got how many legs, Rick?
8 legs.
8 legs.
Yeah.
So you should have 8 directions that you could possibly go in. Because when you get to be a business person, you need to be more like an octopus. How many legs do an octopus
They
have,
have
Rick?
8 too.
Oh, they have 8?
Yeah.
Well, what's the next thing? A 1,000-legger.
1,000 legger.
You need to be a 1,000-legger, because you're going to be going into 1,000 different ways trying to make that business work. And trust me, landing secure, permanent contracts is a big thing in the business world, as much as it is landing that next promotion in the professional world. And trust me, we're going to tie all this together in the 4th session of this series, so that you have everything you need from the personal, professional, business, bringing it all together for 2019.
Right,
So
something just came up into play now. If you look at the other slide, a lot of people get mixed up with a professional, and you're going to go into the next section, into the next segment, meaning they get those two plans mixed up.
the personal and the
Business,
professional,
yeah, like what in your own words like distinguishes that so that they won't get confused.
between the professional and the business, or
Yeah,
the because the professional, like I said, is usually meant towards your career. It's more career oriented
career on
when you
okay.
plan on working with
Okay, that's
someone
the word
else.
for it. Okay.
Right. But I want people to have their professional plan not only address their career plans, but also the integration of owning their own business one day. And then when we go next week and do the business plan, we're going to talk about specifically the business and how you put together a plan to see if that business idea could possibly come to fruition. So the difference pretty much is you're working for someone with your profession. You got to take into consideration you're working for someone when you create your professional plan, and you're trying to build your experience and education under the professional plan. So by the time you get to your business plan and want to start your business, you've picked up all the ingredients to be a successful business person.
Okay, that's very well said. Okay.
And I tell people all the time, go work, go volunteer for a company for which you want to ultimately own one day in that industry. So if you want to be a tech person, go work for a tech company. But don't go work for a tech company that only repairs computers. Get a couple years experience with the computer repair guy, then go to the next level of networking and go to the next level of maybe building apps. I mean, you've got to build that professional plan where you get so much experience and knowledge that when you transfer over to that business, you've got a lot to sustain you. So when I decided to leave Caesars X amount of years ago,
Are you telling me your age while you saying
I said
Caesars?
X amount of years ago. They still in existence, so. But when I knew I was leaving, I utilized a lot of my time that I was being paid for by Caesars to build the company. But I also I was already friends with people in marketing and HR and accounts payable and all that. But what I did was in the last year I was there was I went over to chit chat with those folks, but the chit chat was about how things work in that department. So that's one of the ingredients of building your professional plan, obtaining that knowledge and that experience. One of the biggest things that I did was back in those days, they had a department where it was the buyer's department. So there is where they bought all their products to run the casino. So I think that girl had her position was a buyer specialist, something along that lines, and she had the vendors list. So I went down, made friends with her, and when we opened up our business, which was a grocery store in the beginning, I knew where to get the best price products from, based on my information. So you got a plan. That professional plan is so important. Some people call it the exit plan. I call it the professional plan.
No, well, you're right, and that's what I was about to say. The exit plan, because right now, when you were going around to all those categories or all those like departments, you were like more or less not only building relationships, you were building value to yourself so that you can carry it into your business, and that's how this whole mechanism works.
Exactly. One of the things that we plan to do at the beginning of 2019 with our show is we're going to be taking commercial breaks. And so we will help you put together your commercial free of charge for you, meaning free of charge to help you develop it and put it together. And then there's going to be Rick is working on a pricing structure so that your commercial can play.
I'll have that up next week.
Yeah. So we'll be sending out that package, but you'll be able to, we're going to take a break and then we're going to run your commercial and advertise your business. So if you want that information packet, definitely reach out to us at TByrd. What is it? TByrd Live. I forget what it is.
We got so many of them.
Yeah, I got so many. Yeah, TByrd Live Show at gmail.com. So definitely check that out. Because we're going to be doing commercial breaks. And we're used to this show format because remember back in the day, New Jersey people, we did a live broadcast of TByrd Computer Forum Live, it was called back then. And it was a live television broadcast. And we went to commercial break.
And every 15 minutes. I think
yeah, every 15 minutes, yeah. And that's what we're going to do here. And on our internet show, we go to break every 15 minutes too, on our live internet show. So our next subject is I want to tell everybody who is an employee, the only way you can improve your performance and capability year after year is to develop the improvement plan and your capabilities as an employee. And what I want to say about this statement is some mentors, some people that are guiding you in your career will often refer to you as an employee. And I don't like to say that. I want people to be independent contractors. I want them to have their own business. I want you to register your own name and build your own business so that you can provide your services on an independent contractor basis once you start to branch out on your own business. But you still need to bring in that performance and capability, those assets, so that people will trust you in order for you to do it. So doing that, most people will say, well, what's in it for me? You'll be able to successfully achieve your goals. You'll get gratification of trying to do the best that you can based on your plan and not someone else's plan. And it'll give you the opportunity to, like I said, go from a career to a business.
So it goes into the realm of being having like professional ethics, or what, like,
Yeah, all of it.
one would call a code of conduct.
Hmm.
And you have to be like more or less like professional, be able to govern um, your behavior, other people's behavior, and this is like part of your values that you more or less like displaying. Well, because it's all about showtime. It's all about showing what your worth is, and a lot of people don't know what their worth is, and these are one of the cogs in the wheel to make everything clear and focus to you.
Exactly. And on top of that, you'll be able to not only determine your success by putting together that plan, but also determining your deficits because everything's not going to work in line with what you think is going to be. It's going to work in line with what's already planned for your life. And your part that you have to do is going to be some uphill battles. And if you work towards your plan, then you can always, and I mean always, allow yourself to grow from those mistakes. And because it not necessarily was a deviation from the plan, but it was a roadblock block for the plan. I told my son tonight, going back to familiar territory is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you might have to go back 2 steps to take 4 steps forward.
Right, exactly.
And it took me a long time to actually understand that because I always felt like if I had to go backwards, it was like I failed. Why would I have to go back and pick up the corn, if I walked by it and needed it then and didn't get it? Well, sometimes you got to go back and get that corn because where you're going, you might need the corn 2 or 3 months or years from now.
Hmm.
So pick it up, go back, get it, and pick it up. Hold on to it, and that way, when the time presents itself, you will have what's that saying? You don't have to get ready. You stay ready because you don't have to get
Right.
ready because you stay ready.
Right. I got another one too. Things always fall apart and not together. You got to remember that, and
Mm,
that's what you got to get
mm,
in your mind.
That's good. That's definitely good. Um, so I definitely want to, say to people that it's so important again to do this professional plan. And please don't get it confused with a career plan at all because it is a segue to your business. And if you're not business oriented, I want you to think twice about it because business could be you just, do applications for people. You do the screening when people are hiring. You just screen the people and do all the legwork and then send the top 5 resumes to it could be a small, low level type of position that you're just an expert with. Rick always says, well, I like doing this. It's more like a hobby. Well, you know what? We watched the show last night. This guy was making $1 million a year on a hobby, you know.
Yeah.
So hobbies can turn into
Very,
to
very lucrative things
exactly.
if
So
you had a
right mindset.
right, and like if you chosen like the right options. If you choose the right options, and then it will more or less work out for you. But a lot of times we like do our make our decisions, but it's on not on like the business level, but on just feeling level, and that's a drawback too. But you have to be able to like distinguish that. So you have to long term reflect upon the outcome of that. How would that be? It might be like your heart might be right, but your pocket be bad, and,
Exactly.
and that's how
Yep.
you got to want us. That's one of the parts of being a like professional plan. If you stick with the plan, you won't fall into that pitfall.
Exactly. So the cycle, as you can see, and this comes with every one of our series. So we did this with the personal, we're doing it with the professional, and we also going to do it with the business. And so you will see how the cycle works, and then you can actually complete the cycle. So the first thing is to assess your current skills and determine what you need. That's what's next. Determine what you need. Now, in determining what you need, you're going to be looking at your current experience compared to where your goal is for your top position. So if you are an administrative assistant, which you could be making a really good salary, but you want to reach management or you want to reach supervisory. So what would be your plan? What skills would you need? Well, you have to take some management or supervisory classes. You may want to even volunteer in a nonprofit in a leadership role on your days off, maybe at your church, maybe at one of your where you make donations, one of your groups that you're passionate about, um, and take on a leadership role so that you can get those leadership experience. Because trust me, it doesn't matter what type of leadership skill
No.
experience you got, where you got it from. It just matters that you have it. And when you do it for in the nonprofit world or in the volunteer world, and you put that on your portfolio, people know you did it because you wanted to do it, because you weren't paid. That speaks volume in terms of your professional plan and the level which you're going to. And then once you determine what your skills are and what experience you need, because it might mean changing jobs to get that experience. But I always tell people, if you're secure in your job already and you like it, then get those skills that you need, the experience that you need from volunteerism. Best place to go. They want you because you're good, you're working, you whatever you're doing is going to bring in that, an extra bang to their organization. Um, and then, you're just doing, it's just a great way to get it because you're helping other people. You're doing it out the kindness of your heart. People will recognize that you're doing it not because of you're getting paid, but because you it's the love of it.
But you
You want
want
to
to
do it.
do it. Sure will.
Yeah. That's why you always see stars. They always, when you see celebrity stars programs, they don't give them money. They make a donation to their favorite charity because stars donate their time by lending their name and sometimes their time. Us little regular folk, we need to, we really don't have the money in most cases. So what we do is give up our time. And so it's a twofold. It works so great for your career credentials, your professional plan, and also for your self-worth and self-help of others. Once you get that in place, then the next step is to create your plan. And when you create that plan, that's part of your professional development plan.
Hmm.
And when you write it down, it makes more sense. That's why you always hear bankers or investors say, "Give me your business plan." Not because they want to read it solely, but because they want to know that you know what you're talking about. And if you put it down on paper, then you yourself will know if it makes sense.
And it has to make sense to you because, like, normally 9 out of 10, you're going, um, like to borrow some money or like something of that nature, and they want to make sure your
Hmm.
plan is solid.
Right. And the big thing about this is when you write it down, it tells you whether or not it makes sense. So
Hmm.
you get the confidence, or you might determine, hey, this is not it. This is not this is not going to work. And that's what we really discuss in the business plan part of it, the financials and all that. So with your professional plan, it's the same as identical concept. And in that, you'll be able to identify your barriers based on your action plan. Because if there are some barriers, and there will be, you can actually come up with a solution to those barriers.
Right.
And that's the next step. Develop a strategy to remove those barriers. Because the bottom line is you're going to get where you're going. And you know what else I want to point out? Doesn't matter how old you are. I was telling Rick just today, Oprah Winfrey started her network in her 60s. So I know some of us who just turned 60 or in our, 61, 62, like Rick and I, you're trying to think, you
Right.
no
Yeah.
longer can tell yourself when I grow up.
Yeah. I'm still trying to grow up.
But you say to yourself, well, heck, if I'm not growing up by now, I mean, what's next? But that does, you just change your phase of life, your phase of direction. And you really put your focus on something that you really are passionate about and something that you really want to do. Like Rick and I, we've been doing either live television, live radio, and now live internet e-shows since 1996. We've been doing every Wednesday night for years and years and years. We have been doing some type of information to the public, and it's always been free of charge. No one's ever paid us to do this. We've only been charged to be able to do it, but it's something we're passionate about, and we like doing it. We like sharing information and giving people our knowledge that we have.
Which which like more than spins into like like the professional aspect of your values. Your values is what? Happiness, career success, your family, and your wealth. Once you have those in place, and like you gotta have them in place before you can actually move forward. If you feel comfortable, really comfortable with those, then you can venture out and get all those other tentacles, as Trina was saying earlier.
Exactly. Now, once you've created all of these cycles, assess, determine, create the plan, identify the barriers, develop strategies to remove the barriers, the next step is to implement your plan. And have you wondered how all these things came about? I didn't get this out of a textbook.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
It came from experience, and it works. We are not millionaires and certainly not billionaires financially,
We're not even thousandaires.
but in
But we
we thousandaires. Come on, we're all thousandaires. In a month, somebody's making $1,000, or anybody's making $1,000. But we are billionaires in our experience in being in business since 1988 is when we first got started. I think Rick started out with a little concrete business, and I started out with doing computer business cards or something like that. Then we branched into a paper route. Then we branched into a corner grocery store. No, we did flea markets too.
Yeah, I remember you were like before it was something it's called like desktop publishing.
Yeah, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Oh, well, it was TByrd personal computers, and part of it was
Yeah.
desktop publishing.
Desktop
Those were the
publishing.
days.
Yeah.
Because then, people were like, "Oh, you can make my business cards up?" Like, yeah. And they only cost like $30. Yeah, it was good. Today's technology is a little much, but I'm sure all the young people think it's so exciting as well as we did back in the
Yeah.
early 80s, 90s. So, all right. So here are the templates. You're going to document your professional goals, short term, mid range, and long term. Where you want to be in a year to 3 years. Where you want to be 5 to 6 years. And then, of course, 10 years. And inside those goals need to be that business plan. So you really, really, really want to make sure that you think about that as you're building your professional plan, because it's your future, not just right now for whom you're working for. The next is detailing each one of those goals for that short-term goal. So you're going to detail, and it could be 10 goals that you want to accomplish in your first to third year goal plan. And so we're going to be sending out these templates so that you can actually use these forms to actually create your plans. And then you see down here, it's really about updates. So you identify what those tasks are, the dates you need to accomplish them, and the support that you need to accomplish them, as well as the barriers to overcome, going back to that professional development cycle. So these forms go along with this package. This is a well thought out project that we put together.
Now it might be 5 lines in there. You might have to extend yours and maybe like the 10 lines, but these are the guidelines that you need to more or less
Yeah, you can definitely add to it. Absolutely, definitely add to it. And I wanted to give you, and this is not the whole package. I mean, we've given you the goals and the itemizing the goals, but there's a whole other part that goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we are giving away I think it's a 4-hour webinar. Typically we charge $99, and we're giving anybody that actually emails us at okay, I never remember this email address.
We'll get one.
We'll get a coupon to attend you got to send it over to tbyrdliveshow@gmail.com. tbyrdliveshow@gmail. Let me write that down, put a little tabbing on my desk. I got so many email addresses, it's crazy. The tbyrdliveshow@gmail. And if you send that, the key to getting the free webinar, which is done online, is in the subject area. You have to type in free, FREE, 2019. That's the code word. Free 2019.
Free 2019. Let me write that down.
And you're going to send your request to the TByrd Live Show@gmail.com. And in the body of that email, you're going to give us your name and your address and a brief description as to why this webinar workshop will be very important to you. You will also receive all the support materials, resource materials, such as the workbook that goes with this course. And you will also get all the templates that go with the course. And there's a ton of resources that you'll receive as well. Now, this is only for the professional plan, but tune in every week. If you missed last week, go back on Facebook Live and watch it. Tune in next week for the business plan, because we're going to be giving away a big package in week 4 as a Christmas gift to all our viewers, so that not only will they be able to attend these workshops for absolutely no charge, but you'll also get all the resources that go with it as well. So you got to tune in, and we're going to ask you a question about each class that you attended, or each one of these webinars.
Guess who's making up the questions?
Ricky boy. All right. So now let's talk about some tips. I want to give you a couple of tips from the workshop that we do. First thing is to prioritize. Get whatever it is that you need to have done in priority order. It's not just about writing down the list and putting together that action plan. Prioritizing it. Make sure it makes sense. Make sure it's doable. So don't start with I want to, my first list my first task on the list is to get a job in management. No, your first task on the list should be, what education do I need to get to management? Where can I get experience so that when I apply for that management position, I have experience to back me up? So start from the ground level, prioritize how you're going to get them done, and then they become your action plan.
Can I add that? What we're doing now is trying to make you think strategic planning rather than having just a general planning. A strategic plan, once you get that in place, you'll be able to be a little bit more detailed and see like the path you need to go on.
That may be one of those questions, Rick.
Yeah, well,
strategic plan.
Like, even though, yeah, but go ahead with your.
Yeah, because we're going to send out this interactive quiz, and it's going to be 4 questions. Actually 3. I'm sorry.
3. It's only 3.
It's 3 questions, and you got to have that right answer, and then you'll get the grand prize at the end. Use technology. Definitely, there's a couple of websites I want to point out called Go, MIGO, GOAL, MIGO, Stick, STICKK, Any, and Wunderlist, WUNDERLIST, to help you plan, track, and stay focused. And if you don't like using apps, just pull out your Microsoft Word and just start getting it done. But using some of these apps and websites can really come in handy to help you set weekly goals and objectives, and also track which ones you've accomplished, which ones you haven't, the barriers to those accomplishments so you can document. It's all structured. Whereas if you just do it in Word, you got to come up with your own plan. But guess what? We give you a template for that as well.
Right. And there are a lot of people out there on the web right now. They are advertising that they have their own like professional planner. You can get them. What they're going to do,
Charge your money.
they're going to charge you money for number one, which is priority, and then number two, they're going to give you templates too. They're going to give you a lot
Good
of
point,
templates,
Rick.
which is like, you can make it up yourself.
And in the workshop, that's what we get. We give you everything.
Right.
We
exactly.
combine multiple resources to give you the answer of how to get this all done. If it's a personal plan, the professional, and the business. All three of them are separate courses, and they are so valuable in retrospect to what you plan on doing. And trust me, this webinar today, right now, this eShow right now as we speak, is only important to people that want to make a difference in their lives. The person that wants to grow in 2019. Not the person who wants to sit back and say, oh, I don't have this opportunity. That person got the raise or that person got the promotion and I deserved it. And you know what? That promotion wasn't for you because you aren't supposed to be at that job. You're supposed to be at the next level.
Right.
But if you spend time worrying about what that person got, you can't get to where you go. Think about it.
Right. Which brings back to what you was like you be saying all the time, BYOB. Not like bring your own booze, but the thing to that is be your own boss.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you want to be with this.
And be your own boss doesn't necessarily mean that you have your own business. Be your own boss means that you are in charge of where you're going, even though you work for somebody else. Your plan of action is yours. And what we try to do, and it's probably not a great thing for business, but all of our, I won't call them employees, but all the people that have worked for us over the years, we have always tried to encourage them to be the best that they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And we always felt like no, not TV1, what was it? Channel 40.
Channel 40.
TV 40. It was a stomping ground.
Is that why they went out of business?
No. But they did have a high turnover because people would come there, learn, and go on and become greater.
And now you see them in Philly. They be on the station.
Yeah, the DMV, all kinds of places. And that's what TByrd has been. We have trained people, we've hired them, and they moved on to greater, better pastures. And I mean, it's just that's just probably our goal, or not our goal, but probably what was the plan for us is to make people better. Mm-hmm. And we've been trying to do that. Another tip is stay accountable. Share your plans with friends and family members. That way you'll be able to tell them about your program and your plans, your progress, actually, not program, but your progress. And they can offer you support and encouragement when you need it. And they can also critique what you're accomplishing and give you the real live look from outside. And it has to be people that you trust.
And as I retrospect, like when we started our business, it was like, it was like when I was going through it, and in your life, it becomes a game changer because you look at things in like a different like perspective in your company or in your growth or in your potential, and like if you have specific like goals and objectives to do in your business, you get it done. Whereas you may not have that trait, but you will develop along the way.
Exactly. And on top of that, they could be a deterrent. They could be one of those roadblocks. And watch out for that. Because I posted something on Facebook today that read, blowing out someone else's candle doesn't make your candle shine brighter.
Sure doesn't.
And those candle blowers, people don't understand that. Because if I stop you from getting something done, somebody's going to stop me from what I want to do. And it's just a vicious circle. So what you need to do is support people. My philosophy has always been, I want to help you get to where you're going so we could get there together. And what I need, you can help me with, and what you need, I can help you with. And I've never been envious of anybody who's accomplished more than me. I want to know how you did it so I can use those same tools to help me get where I'm going.
Or to pass it on to somebody else.
And to help somebody else, bring them up. And there are a lot of people that know us and probably have their own opinion about us. But they can never say we didn't try to reach back and help people. We've been doing that our entire careers. And I always tell people when I talk to them about business, your first responsibility as a business person or a professional person is to stay honest. Honesty will get you a long way. But today's world is based upon step on as many people as you can to get where you're going.
Say what you need to say, no matter if it's fiction or fake news or whatever, just to get ahead, just to be first. Sometimes it's not really good to be first, because for one thing, you have to wait until like the blowback comes, and there's always a blowback. It will always.
And it hits that first person first.
Right.
Okay, I just got a thing. We're on Baltimore Black Professionals online. We're streaming live, so that's good. And so I just want to give you a tip that when people tell you no and you feel deep in your heart and passionate about it can happen, then the first thing you want to do is thank them. I had one of my nephews on Facebook just yesterday, and he was not very kind. And he had accomplished what he had planned to accomplish, and he made some derogatory comments on Facebook. And I congratulated him on his progress and success. And I told him to remove those comments, because all you do is say thank you to the people that have stood in your way. And they weren't successful. They thought they were, but they weren't. Because whatever God's plan for you is going to be yours, and no one can stop it. And when you get where you're going, you just turn around and you say thank you to those people, because they did help you get there. They gave you the encouragement to keep on going. And when you get someone that's encouraging you like that, it's a blessing. So you thank them with a smile. Thank you.
They might give it to you the hard way, or they may not have gave it like you wanted to receive it. Still thank them.
Thank them. Yep. Keep a journal and write everything down. Record your progress. Write all those thoughts, feelings, your frustrations, your achievements, your roadblocks, the people that hurt you, family and friends, all of that. Keep it in your journal. So when you look back and see what it took for you to get to where you're at now or next, you will appreciate it and you won't complain, because you'll remember in writing what you saw. Writing is a powerful thing. I know technology is this big old, but writing things down is so far important. It's important when you go to court. It's important for you to retrospect on. And it's important when you're trying to get your point across to someone that doesn't listen. People read better than they listen. If you write it down and give it to them, they will read it. And that will bother them more than anything you said, because they can dismiss you when they're listening. But if they're reading it, they're going to read it over and over and over again, because they want to get what you're saying. There's power in written word. Power. And the reverse side of that is power for yourself. And the last tip I want to give you is reward yourself. Celebrate your career, your achievements for your career, your professional plan, and give yourself a boost so that you can keep motivating yourself to get it done. And the more you motivate yourself, the more successful you'll be. You got to get up every morning and think about the positive things that you can get done in the short period of time that you have to do it. Because when you do that, you're already putting in place in your mind a plan. And when you plan, you get progress. And when you get progress, you get progression. Progress is what happens for the day. Progression is what's going to happen tomorrow. Plan, progress, and progression.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's one of the questions we're going to ask you.
Part of my
yeah, let me write it down too. Plan, progress.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And progression. And remember.
And the reason why we're talking now, we write stuff down, we're not talking to you from like a textbook aspect. we're just sitting down here, like just kicking it, just talking like our normal talk, like we normally talk, and hopefully a little bit of this, like, will more or less, uh, I, I guess, reflect upon you, and that's all that we can do. That's all one can do with life. We do that with our kids. We do that, with our boss. We do that to where we interact. We all have a plan of operation, and it all depends on how you like deliver it. Because a lot of people don't have a true vision, values, or like a strategy to get where they're going. So you got to
Doing my
watch out for
show.
them people too. So
I'm doing my
so
show.
please, please be in mind, or like bear that in mind, because it is a type
All
of
right.
like risk management that you got to more or less put in place for yourself. Because like if you don't, it might be more or less devastating for you, and you may not be able to like to recover from like the plan that you have, and like you don't want somebody else to take advantage of your benefits
Good point.
because it's your plan.
Good point. And leads us right into your. You mentioned this last week, Rick, and I wanted to bring it back this week, and I'm going to actually mention it next week as well.
Didn't we have a conversation? We said we wasn't going last week, but that's a
There you go.
an
You
inside
can't.
joke again. But
No, it's not a joke. There you go. All right, let's focus. Take your own advice. Focus.
Focus.
Follow one's course until successful.
Mm-hmm. That's what it means.
Powerful.
Yeah.
But what good is it if you say it and print it and then you don't do it?
Right.
How's that, Rick? Tell me.
Well,
you just did it a few seconds ago.
No, but that wasn't it.
No, that was a joke.
I know it.
All right.
I know that was one.
Here we go. Everyone's born with opportunity. The opportunity to make a difference. And I have that as my words of passion on every email I send out.
Mm-hmm.
I want to let you know that you can register at tbyrdcenter.com, put in the subject professional plan package, and we will send it out to you. We also told you that you could also email us at the TByrd Live Show at Gmail and put in free 2019 as the subject, and you'll end up getting something even more valuable than the professional plan package. So you've got two places you need to go to get this information sent over to you, and you'll be glad you did. But you have to have watched us live on the show to get the free 2019.
Exactly.
And we're tracking it so we know whether you were there or not.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So I know like the deliverables and products that we provided to you tonight, we want you to like, you may not be able to like that ascertain them now, but if you go through this again, you'll see like the little nuggets that we dropped to you about the strategies, about the marketing, about the financials that you need to have in place. Because in all actuality, when you start a business, you have to look at or do a feasibility study to see if that's really for you. It might be something else. And a lot of people go through like myself, like Trina and I had a conversation that like today, she said, well, we done tried everything. Why don't you try something? And I'm looking at it like, okay, well, that sounds good. That sounds well and good. Something that I like, and that she told you earlier, that I do things as a hobby, because I'm not one that's drilling down in it, but I'm like starting now to use my own philosophies and making it work, and it is work. But you just need a strategy map, and then you need to must travel towards that, and like you'll see like the alignment come into play.
Exactly. So you're getting your plan together too. So Rick is doing it with you guys.
Yeah.
He's going to get his plan together for 2019, and
I want to test my business models, and I got a couple of them on like the board now. But if you could just
you got to keep growing. You can't just
what I mean. So these are things like the
things don't stay the same forever.
That's right. All right.
Okay, we want to thank you for tuning in. Uh, Even if you came in late or in the middle or whatever, you can still always
Right. If you scrolling up and down like I do on Facebook, but
repost it, stop and watch it. Tell your friends
yeah.
to stop and watch it. Very valuable tips of information. And anybody coming into 2019 that doesn't have their personal, professional, and business plan in place, you're shortchanging yourself because you definitely need to be able to project your own future, dictate your own future. We live in a time now where you have to plan for the upcoming years because politically, in terms of the weather
Aesthetically,
conditions,
everything.
just the way things are going, you got to have yourself, you got to have what you need to be doing. And you can't waste time. And, I'm fearful of being a great great grandmother because, wait a minute, great great grandmother, did I just
No,
say?
you say great. Yeah, you
Yeah,
say
I said
great,
great
great,
great
great.
grandmother.
And I was trying to figure out how old you really are.
I
Because you threw me off with that.
said I'm fearful of becoming a great great grandmother, but I'm just saying great grandmother because I'm already a grandmother. So if I become a great grandmother, that means my grandson will have kids, and then if I live long enough, my great great no, that
Now
ain't
we're
gonna happen.
breaking out now. We got 5 more minutes. I like
Yeah.
to do a shout out to
Oh, okay.
like Natasha, Douglas. Thank you. Thank you for dropping in. All right. We're looking
I
at
like it.
Connie.
Okay, go ahead.
Connie, yeah, I'm not finished yet. Jean and Trina, how'd you get in there? Did I say Michelle?
Oh, I liked it.
Renee, thank you. And Jeff. Thank you very much for like more us tuning in. I don't know how long you tuned in, but we got a couple of hits and we like appreciate you.
We definitely do, and we look forward to coming next week with more of this valuable information. And I especially want to thank the Black Business. Let me see what the name
Oh, did you
is.
tell them where we're going tomorrow?
Oh yeah, we going to this. Oh, we're going.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. We may have some like, additional
yeah,
information.
we might put it
Yeah.
on.
Oh, you know what? I think we're gonna go live from there, just to
Uh,
give people an
okay,
idea
the
of what.
weekend.
Yeah, we're gonna go
Okay,
live. We're gonna do a special live broadcast tomorrow morning, probably from 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock,
we're going to see.
because we're going to this big in the DMV. They have a big
They have a new,
outreach for business development.
yeah, they have a new event center, and it's like the live casino and hotel, and we're going to be one is going in tomorrow. Uh, it starts at 8 to 12. So if you happen to be in the area, it's a good thing. You need to drive by. There's to be all the high powered and low powered, businesses that's going to be sharing their goods, to like the general public. And if you get in now or go to Everbright Live, I don't know if you can get on now.
Eventbrite.
I mean Eventbrite. I'm sorry. Um, you go there, you might be able to get a free admission ticket. All right. So
I think the day is no. What's today? Wednesday.
yeah,
Yeah,
today
tomorrow's the
Wednesday.
deadline.
Yeah, tomorrow is.
So Eventbrite.
All right. So go there again. It's going to be held at the live casino and hotel at the new event center, and it starts at 8 o'clock, ends at 12, and you can get a free admission ticket, free of charge.
And any events that you have that you want us to talk about towards the end of the show, we will be glad to announce them. So just send them into the TByrd Live Show at gmail.com, and the subject would be announcements, and that way we'll really, because we get a ton of email in there, and if you put announcements in the subject area, we will definitely click on it, make sure we read it before the show, and make the announcements. And a lot of things I like to do as well, or plan to do for 2019, is to have like a slide. So we'll put it in our PowerPoint slide. So if you want to send some pictures or a flyer or whatever it
Mm-hmm.
may be, send it to us and we'll post it right up there. And we use the last 5 minutes of the show to make those announcements. And if they're real important and you want us to give it out at the beginning of the show, because it is an hour show. Sometimes people fall off towards the end.
Yeah, we realize that.
We'll give it out in the beginning of it, but we try to make all of our information meaty and applicable to what we're trying to get you to improve in your life in terms of whatever the subject matter may be.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we're here to help you out with your business.
Another thing also,
and you can be a guest.
right? As far as speaking of like commercials, if you have a logo or anything of that nature, that's going to be all, when it's given to you in like the packet. You might want to throw your logo up on us, and we can like display that too.
Right.
All right.
We actually did one for our sponsors, and these are all the logos for our immediate sponsors: Rico Clothing, the Food Truck School, TBC Enterprise, Mr. T's Buster Ride, of course, the TByrd Center. So we can easily add a sheet to this and have your logo added to this with no problems whatsoever. So let us know.
Welcome to TByrd Live.
Oh.
In the world.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. We got all kinds. Somebody's trying to call right now too. But we get ready to go. We'll get you. Whoever that is, I'll call you because I got that sound, so I know it's a call coming in. I will call you as soon as we end the show, which is right about now. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to every Wednesday coming to you at 7 p.m. live on Facebook and also on TByrdLive.com, our internet eShow as well. And anything we can do to help you in your business on a professional or business level, we are here. It's all we can do is help. All you can do is ask. You ask us, we'll do our best to help you.
Looking forward to seeing you next week.
All right, we're out. I like that beat. Wave goodbye.